The scope of glorious Greece nears a point of absurdity in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, but thankfully there's a ridiculous amount of things to do here, many of which I've grown to thoroughly enjoy over the course of my first 20 hours. Actually, I'll go ahead and admit that I'm having an absolute blast with several of Odyssey's features, and this is coming from a chap that only played about 25% of Origins. With some new and others refined, I'm finding myself smiling, cheering, and squirming in the best ways at 8 particular features in Ubisoft's latest open-world ARPG. Side note, 5 years ago I would have never expected myself to describe an Assassin's Creed game that way. Anyway, let's rumble! I reflect on the old Hidden Blade with as much love and jubilee as any other longtime fan of the franchise, but I imagine I'm not the first to admit that its assassination animations grew stale after several games. The age of poking hooligans in the spleen is over. The time of Leonidas' spear has come. And by golly, these assassination animations are so damn brutal! From impaling guys in the head and snapping their necks to flipping them over and stabbing them in the spine, these kills are bloody satisfying. However, there's one aspect we need to address. What the hell is with all the nut punching? At first I believed it to be some sort of violent fetish or ancient Greek humiliation tactic, but then I considered the fact that Alexios and Cassandra both share the same animations. As a lady, it makes total sense to go for the nads. Warriors always attack their enemies' weak spots, but we men have a strict, unspoken code of honor that prohibits such a heinous act. Sure, pierce a guy through the cranium with a spear, but repeatedly tapping him in the jewels is crossing the line! Speaking of savagely killing things, Odyssey features some great abilities that cater to all playstyles. There are too many to cover in all, but a few of my favorites include the infamous Sparta Kick, Devastating Shot, and Rush Assassination. The Sparta Kick speaks for itself. Having the option to roleplay as Gerard Butler's Leonidas as often as you please is both incredibly fun and absolutely hilarious. From launching bears off of cliffs to kicking enemies into the depths of the sea, it never gets old. Being a bow fanatic, Devastating Shot is consistently beneficial while I'm sneaking about, as its 290% damage percentage unequivocally lives up to the name, not to mention it's doubled by a fully charged shot. By now you may have concluded I cater to stealth, and Rush Assassination enables you to quickly deal 100% damage up close and follow it up with chained assassinations. It's fast, quiet, and looks badass. I finally admired a multitude of Bayek's outfits in Origins, but was disappointed by their lack of attributes as opposed to his weaponry. I was also let down by the inability to mix and match pieces of gear, such as head, torso, arms, and more. In Odyssey, my concerns are entirely addressed. You can combine a plethora of armor pieces with varying attributes that feed further into developing your assassin, hunter, and warrior skill trees. Whether you're building a character focused on a single playstyle or balancing all three, your weapons, gear, and selected skills work in unison to establish your goal. As mentioned in our review, Ubisoft took a page out of Shadow of Mordor's book with the implementation of mercenaries. These challenging foes come equipped with their own unique titles, abilities, and levels of difficulty. Throughout the game, your bounty level will shift based on your actions. Unless you pay or kill the bounty collector, these mercenaries will hunt you to the ends of the earth, alone or in groups with no remorse. In my experience, I faced off with one wielding fire bombs and arrows and another with a vicious pet lion. Mercenary encounters ultimately serve as mini boss battles, and successfully overcoming them rewards you with high-level weapons and gear. Similar to Middle-earth Shadow of War's fortress raids, Conquest battles fulfill the void of what was teased but missing from Assassin's Creed 3. These large-scale fights are intense, and serve as the perfect outlet to put your acquired skills to the test. Interestingly, you're able to choose a side. While attacking a nation is more challenging and more rewarding than defending one, both sides grant epic gear when you're victorious. Plus, it's nice to have options, and gives you all the more reason to dig deeper into conversations with key characters. Not unlike the ones scattered throughout the world of The Witcher 3, message boards can be visited in every one of the seemingly countless locations in Odyssey's ancient Greece. They offer quick, bite-sized quests that grant additional XP and crafting materials. One may have you clear a small bandit camp, while another will have you battle a squad of ships at sea. I found them to be most beneficial when I'm in need of a bit more XP to level up, or if I'm lacking a small amount of crafting materials for that next upgrade. Like many, I adored Black Flag. I fell in love with the ship mechanics, and the pirate life in general. I for one was ecstatic at the return of ship combat and ocean exploration in Odyssey, and I'm happy to say it feels better than ever. Though sinking ships with volleys of arrows and spears severely challenges my ability to suspend my disbelief, operating your warboat is smooth and straightforward. My favorite new addition to ship combat is the inclusion of lieutenants. Instead of viciously slaughtering every one of them you encounter, you're presented with the option to non-lethally subdue and recruit them for your crew. Each lieutenant has a unique skill that can be applied to one of 4 unlockable slots in your ship. From increased volley damage to stronger hull attacks, the lieutenants provide a way to further customize the way you approach battles at sea. And let's rejoice in the fact that we have a killer new set list of shanties to belt while shredding the waves. Though it's certainly been there, done that for the genre, the inclusion of dialogue options and story-altering choices fit nicely into the fold. I'm inherently more invested in the plot being able to directly impact it, and optional conversations provide a greater sense of character development across the board. They're especially interesting when playing in exploration mode, as the information you gather from chatting with characters around the world is critical to completing quest objectives. The execution of said mode isn't as glamorous as it sounds on paper, but it is a neat idea I hope to see return and improve going forward. Ultimately, these features result in a much deeper and more satisfying ARPG experience. Odyssey feels like a cross between the best of what was overhauled in Origins and what I loved about Black Flag. My investment in the franchise has undeniably dwindled in the last 5 years, but I'm genuinely having a great time with Odyssey, and it'll more than likely be the first Assassin's Creed title I complete since Unity. If you're playing Odyssey, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to COG Connected for all things gaming. And for news, reviews, features, and more, visit us online at cogconnected.com.